I have been wanting to share something that has felt edgy and vulnerable, and something that I really want the men to hear. Women are tired. The feminine is tired, and I have been feeling it. I have been seeing it. I have been witnessing it and having conversations with women who are really struggling right now. From single mothers, too many single mothers I know that don't have the fathers present in relationship to the children, or even financial support. And this is coming from a woman that was raised by a single mother and an immigrant that had two children. My mother had two children at the age of 19. So it's hard to witness. And then single women that don't feel like there are enough good men out there to rely on.
Let me ask y'all a question. And this is a serious, honest to God question that I would like for y'all to answer in the comments and let me know what y'all thoughts are. Why should we care? Seriously, why should we care as a group? I think that we need to start becoming more tribal, individualistic, and then also doing what's best for you. I've always preached and believed, and maybe it's based off of scripture, is that the best way for you to solve a problem is to get the beam out of your own eye. So, for example, my situation is beautiful because I don't have any illegitimate children. I don't have any scorned women in my background and in my life. My mother is great. Everything is great. My daughter is great. Life is incredibly awesome. Now, why should I then put myself in harm's way by subjecting myself to the culture that has been absolutely toxic by people who can't select for themselves the people that they are supposed to be around? If you have the inability to pick the right person, to get married before you carry, why should guys, men, in general, especially considering that women have said to decenter men that they no longer care, that they're against the patriarchy, that patriarchy is bad. All of these things, right? That not to make a man the foundation of what you, well, that then reflects in what you see happening in society today when women decide that they want to align themselves with the advice of other women instead of falling under traditional family values, and they reject everything that we say or that great men have said that we need to do in order to build a strong society, a strong culture. And now we're supposed to care because you have a self-inflicted wound. Why should men care considering that you have completely done your own thing, went and got pregnant by guys that you wasn't supposed to be associated with in the first place? You have multiple children out of wedlock. And now we're supposed to pick up the pieces and say, yes, on a broader scope, on a broader scale, right? We're talking about people that have said that they got it. We don't need your help. You're uneducated. You are less than. We're doing better than you. And now you're supposed to become interdependent on us in order to be able to heal? Now, I'm not obviously putting myself in this situation because I have broken nothing. And there are a lot of guys out here that have broken nothing. And there are also a lot of guys that are saying, I'm going to stay single and I'm no longer interested in a relationship because what I am witnessing with regard to marriage is not only are you not willing to update family court laws, not only are you not willing to not call me a partner, but instead you would call me your husband. Not only are you willing to fall into or not fall into traditional family roles and values, but you're also saying that pick me up after I've already decided that I wanted to have children by the guy that I wasn't supposed to be with in the first place. Wives are reserved for husbands. Hoes are reserved for the people in the streets. You can't mix the two. And I think that we need to stop commingling. When I was in school, and I want to finish the rest of this video. When I was in school, in grade school, we separated the children that were good and we put them in the good part of the school with the extracurricular activities. And we wanted to make sure that those children had a chance to exceed and so exceed their normal environment. And despite where they were born at, they were, obviously raised the right way. And so they were in the AP classes and the accelerated courses, and they all congregated with each other. And then you had normal everyday people that still did relatively what they were supposed to do, and they weren't crazy. And so we then had, last but not least, another couple groups of people. One of them that were slower than the rest of us, and they had their own set of classes, and they stayed in that class for the whole day. And then we had the class clowns and the people that we knew was destined not to do anything because they just refused to get themselves together, and they had horrible parents. And so those kids stayed in detention, and they stayed in the remedial classes, and we were able to separate so that we knew who was who and what was what. But nowadays, there's no kid left behind. And so everybody is commingled, and everybody decided that they wanted to get with each other, and nobody is doing what they're supposed to do because everybody think that we're all supposed to be the same. We're not. If there needs to be some level of segregation, it needs to happen when relationships are at the forefront of the conversation. Honestly, that's my personal opinion.
And to lean into during these times. And why I wanted to share this is because it is like this secret conversation that's being had amongst other women. And then there's a fear of vulnerability of exposing that and sharing that women are leaning on women because there are not enough reliable men to lean on.
But they were choosing the bear.
Really hard.
What happened to choosing the bear? And that's no bad thing that I'm saying about her, but what happened to the bear?
To share, how tired the feminine is. And the world is changing so fast and so quickly, and it's scary. And there are a lot of us that feel like we're holding so much for our communities and for ourselves that it's hard to kind of put it down and to rest. Whether it's for they're holding space, other women are holding space for their children, for their communities, for their families, for each other. And it's really hard to feel like there are solid men within our communities that can hold us so that we can rest for a moment. And I wanted to share this because it's not really talked about. It's not really talked about. And I think it's really important for men to hear, for whatever it's worth, whether it's to just check in on the women in your communities, whether they're single mothers, whether they're just sisters out in the world doing their thing, to just check in on the women in your life.
Don't do it.
Ask how they're doing during these times, even at a minimum, for what it's worth.
Nope, don't you do it. Don't you lift a finger. Don't you pick up a phone. Don't you do it. You separate yourself. And you focus on the people that you are responsible for. That is your duty as a man. Don't get distracted. Don't look left. Don't look right. Don't check on nothing. Focus on what you're supposed to do so that you don't get caught up in the foolishness. Protection is proactive. If I tell you, hey, listen, it's a monster around the corner, or you're going to get your butt kicked, or you're going to go through some stuff, or you're going to get pregnant, or you're going to suffer. If you go around that corner and I, as a man, am telling you to stay under my covering, and you go around that corner and then you come back around the other way, you go around the block and you say, you know what? I'm tired. I got my butt kicked. You got to deal with the consequences. You have to deal with the consequences. And so my advice to guys is do not get yourself in a position where you're going to get finessed into being a stepfather. Focus on the people that you're responsible for. And wives are wives. The rest of them, let the chips fall where they may. And find yourself in a better position and not being subjected to this nonsense. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Chanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Be careful.